There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone. Hello everyone and welcome to Sci-Fi Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 7 of season 4 of The 12 Monkeys.
Wowzer. Okay. So we're doing this pretty quick, so I don't know, did you manage to get any ratings?
No, they don't get the ratings out for at least 36 hours to 48 hours for cable. They barely get the network out by this time.
Yeah, we were doing this pretty quick, but
yeah.
Let me tell you, the way this opened, I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to need tissue?
Yes.
So let's jump into episode 7, Daughters. Joan sends Hannah back in time to 2007 on a personal mission that could be the key to everything. The opening was unreal though, because we have Emma and Hannah, and you have them talking, and it was very similar and then different all at the same time.
Right.
And it just felt like it was going to be a major tearjerker, and I got really worried that I was going to need tissue.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great how they compared and contrasted how the two girls were raised and
yes, it was great.
With and without their mothers, and it was just amazing how it was done.
It was. When you had, oh my gosh, Emma saying she was raised with books and basically behind glass, and Hannah was like, I was raised with knowledge of fighting, and just how they were so different.
Yeah.
And how they both essentially had to be fighters, but what was really getting me was that they were raised by other people that were not their mothers, and how Emma says everything I did, I did because of what my mother wanted and what I'm supposed to be. And Hannah was basically, I did everything I did because I had no mother, because she didn't know. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those. Okay. But
yeah, they both have the same issue. They want their mother's approval and feel crushed under the weight of their expectations.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that was just, wow.
But we do pick up pretty much right where we left off, other than that opening, which could break your heart.
Yes.
After Dialogue. And it's the witness speaking to Katerina and saying, oh, I've seen this before, because she sees her hand shaking. She's like, it's fatal. It's a temporal radiation. And Katerina's like, yeah, you took the wrong person. I got nothing else for you.
Yeah. And, aren't you looking well?
Oh, yeah.
The barbs from Jones were just amazing.
Yeah. What was with, the black vines almost climbing up Olivia's neck, and is it supposed to be makeup or what underneath her eyes? Or is she just supposed to look sickly? What the hell is going on with Olivia right now?
I think we're seeing the effects of her connecting to the time stream.
Oh, okay.
I think it's killing her too.
Good.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. But I was especially like, you know what? You need to be down. When Katerina says, I've got nothing left for you to take, and she's like digging her thumbnail into her forehead, making her bleed.
Right.
And she's like, oh, you have more for me to take. I was like, oh.
And then, of course, they take Katrina down to the same cell that Deacon was in.
Now, I feel like Deacon didn't know it was going to be the same cell, because he had that moment like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And even Katerina's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Normally you're not asking your jailer, are you doing good? What's going on?
Yeah.
But Deacon, is like, yeah, this is where I was. Yeah, stay in the back. It's warmer. Think of something you hate. And this is what I loved, because she goes, if I'm going to die here, I'm going to think about something I love. I'm like, oh. And Deacon just didn't know what to do. Now, do you think this was specifically done to mess with Deacon?
At first, I probably would say no, but you can't trust Olivia.
Right.
You really can't. So, yeah, it had to be to make sure she was getting in his head as well.
Yeah. Well, we do have Hannah. Finally, we know what her mission was. Jones wanted her to go back in time to know what they were really fighting for. So she sends her back before the plague, before anything. So she gets the room at the Emerson and an envelope, which this is weird because she tells her, do not open it before this date. Open it anytime after. And it was dated March 8th, 2009. And so she, keeps it by her calendar. And she has a year that she's going to be there, is because the calendar says March 9th, 2007. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm sorry, a couple years she's going to be there. Yeah. Sorry, rewind. So it gives her time to understand what this world was that Katerina grew up in, that Cassie grew up in before the plague.
Right.
And I feel like that's really important because she never had a chance just to be like a normal kind of kid.
No, she didn't. She went from being dead to being with the daughters in the future. So she had no idea what it was like before the plague hit. And I guess I kind of see why Jones gave her the 2 years to actually get a feel for it. But it sure seemed to me that it didn't really impress her that much.
No, she was kind of complaining.
Yeah, and it wasn't until the actual day that she had actually started to loosen up a little bit with the bartender and was going out for a date.
Right. Well, I feel like she had to start coming around at some point because even that night, like when she listened to a message on her phone and it's a friend like, oh, tell me all about it later, because she had started making friends with this bartender beforehand, slowly.
Right. Yeah.
And he finally asked her out, which I thought was interesting too. And he's like, you're not big city and you're not small town. You've seen stuff. I can see it in your face and it's hard to come back from. So you must have been like in the war or something. Well, it's not too much of a lie for her, so she can go with that.
No. Yeah.
And it's just interesting. It's like he's just going to take it as, okay, you've seen some shit and it's going to be hard. Okay, we can just chat. It's cool. And then eventually, he gets to know her. But I thought that was really nice that they threw it in and it wasn't just some random guy like, I'm just going to hit on you.
Right.
And it was something I think she needed because she hasn't had that at all.
No.
So
not at all.
And
so, it was good.
Yeah.
To see her finally opening up to somebody and being in a normal relationship at least.
And I'm going to tell you, I got worried though. For that split second, I'm like, if they're going to say that she's Cole's mom, like seriously, I thought that.
Right. Yeah. I hadn't gotten to that point. That's for sure.
I suddenly thought that. But also at this point too, you have both of the daughters kind of going back and forth. Hannah saying what she doesn't like and does like about everything, and the same with Emma, and especially about their circumstances.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, we have Emma finally talking about like how her whole life led up to what she has to do for Titan.
Right.
She was born for this. Olivia had her with tutors and lessons, theories, everything. And it was crazy. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that most kids aren't learning.
No.
And you feel bad because then you're like, wow, she didn't have a childhood either. So it's not even like Hannah didn't have a childhood because she had to fight the whole time.
Yeah.
Emma didn't have a childhood because she had to be basically 100% for her mother for the future.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. I feel like that was really rough.
Yeah. Both of them were brutal. Absolutely brutal. No child should ever have to go through that.
I mean, either way. Maybe some kind of balance would have been good.
Yeah.
But we also had her slightly worried because Elliot had told her that he wanted her to finish his work, not knowing, of course, what his work was leading to at that point.
Right.
But she wasn't sure she can finish it. And she was going to have to really start from scratch at Titan to get that. I forgot what it was called. Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't.
It was on the screen a bunch of times.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I'm having a brain fart. But to get that to have the paradox.
Right.
And Olivia is not exactly a little happy camper through most of this.
Oh, no. No. She expected a whole lot more from Hannah than what she got.
I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be immediate? If you're the damn witness, you should know how to do everything yourself, right?
You should, yes.
Sorry, you want to give your daughter crap. And she gets, like, meaner as it's going. Because at one point, it's like she's going to push her off the tower.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. Seriously, lady, you need to bring it down a notch.
Yeah.
Like, I got worried for her for real.
Yes, absolutely.
Olivia's gone a little over the deep end.
Yeah.
Well, let's come back to Katerina for a minute.
Yeah, because Olivia's going over the deep end, because now she's getting inside her head.
And that first time that she did it, when you think that she got, managed to fight it off, I'm like, oh yeah. And then just things started getting a little weird. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. Oh no.
She didn't fight it. Damn it. I was excited and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So, Olivia, just, this is how I was through this whole episode. I'm sorry.
Yes. But, another fantastic job by Allison Down, believe me.
But, basically like, oh, you're going to see Cole pop in the vest and he's going to rescue you. And she says, we need to save Deacon. I'm like, oh, this is where everything's going to go awry.
Yeah.
And, of course, where the whole thing goes wrong is with Hannah.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden she's like, wait, I sent you away. She's like, my mission is done. And just smiling. And I'm like, oh, Hannah doesn't smile.
No.
That's pretty much where I was like, oh, red flag. And I feel like I wanted her to all of a sudden remember what Jennifer said, look for the thing that doesn't belong.
Right. But she does come up with if she's in my head, I should be able to poke around her head.
Well, she did. Kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It was interesting because she goes back to that weird little, cell. But then you see, the various stages of Olivia. And then suddenly she's a witness and she, breaks out.
Right.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I don't know. Olivia, of course, is crazy. But I thought Katerina might actually be able to do something serious.
Right. Yes, there is no doubt in my mind, if we're having a battle of wits, Katrina is going to be able to beat Olivia. Mm-hmm. One way or the other.
And it's also interesting because every time Olivia has Katerina, in, I don't know, whatever you call it, in the stream, Emma's watching. So she can't see what's happening inside, obviously, but she can hear what they're saying.
Right.
And this is where, she really looked disturbed because at one point, Olivia's like, okay, well, you know what? I can screw with you because of Hannah.
Right. And Katerina sees her appear and just has to watch over and over and over again. 3 different ways that Olivia decides to kill her? One by cutting her throat, one by snapping her neck, and another by shooting her in the head.
Right. And then just rewind, do another one. Rewind. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. And that's when you're hearing her call out for Hannah and, I'm so sorry. And Emma's hearing all this. And I'm like, you know what? This has got to be something.
Right. Yeah, she's actually seeing just how messed up her mother is.
And what it's like for somebody who does care for their child.
Right.
And then she's like, just tell me where they are. It's like, where's the weapon? It's always about where's the weapon. So she tells her, she breaks down and tells her.
And you go, no,
yes,
don't.
Exactly. I'm like, why? Until.
Yeah.
And this seriously threw me because Deacon takes her back to her cell and Deacon's like, it wasn't real. And she's like, listen.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden Titan starts going off and he's like, we're going to jump. And she's like, oh, good. We're going exactly where we needed to be. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
And she goes, I needed her to believe and to go here, but she wasn't going to do it if I gave in quickly.
Right.
And I think he was probably pretty impressed at this point.
Yeah, absolutely was impressed with how she handled that.
Yeah.
He said, of course, that it made perfect sense as soon as she said it. Because you remember, Adler saying they don't have enough power to get to 1491.
And nothing to lock onto.
Right. Well, if Titan's there, they have something they can lock onto.
Well, I mean, don't they have Jones's tether then, too, because of it?
Right.
There we go. That's great. And I was like, oh, yes, come on, Adler. I was excited. And he's like, fine, we're going to do this. And then I got worried again.
Yeah.
Because you had Cole, like, all ready to go. And him and Adler kind of got into it.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Because what does he say? Like, exactly.
Knock you on your ass, boy.
Right. Yeah, you know he's been, like, holding that in for a while, right?
Yeah.
But I got nervous because Jennifer all of a sudden tells Cole, I've always been your eyes. I'm going to go first. Because, they're like, it's going to hurt. And Jennifer's like, no, I got this. And then when she hugs him and then gets up there and starts, like, screaming because it, like, was painful, I'm like, oh my God, she's going to die.
Right.
Then I'm like, wait, is she going to die?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so timey-wimey.
Yeah. And it looked like it just smoked her.
Yes, because the way it went out.
Yes.
I was like, uh-oh.
And yeah, it was like, oh no.
I did. I got nervous. And then alarms start going off. I'm like, oh crap, what does this mean?
Yeah. And then we see old Jennifer and we go, huh, what? Huh?
Right. Huh? And even she says it. She's like, oh, I forgot what year you're in, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we all did.
Yep. We're back in 2043, not 2046.
Yes. Oh, but old Jennifer is like, you need to hurry up, get back there.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm in some trouble. So get moving. And I love it because then she looks at Adler and goes, hey, 3PO.
Yeah, I know.
You have to get the vest fixed. Like, now. So we're like, great. What's going to happen? Oh, apparently they go back, right?
Yep.
Because the weird visions that keep popping up kind of scared me too. Because I don't remember, was it Jennifer? Like her nose started bleeding and all of a sudden she has like that vision of Cole with a sword to his neck. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to us, Terry? Why?
Because he can.
Right? And then we have back with Hannah, who's trying to live her life as she's supposed to, getting to the day where she's supposed to open the envelope. And that's when the bartender asks her out, and she's like, well, there's something I was going to do, and I've been waiting, but then I don't want to do it. And he's like, okay. And she's like, yeah, let's go out. Yeah. It's like, yeah, don't go back and forth, because you're just going to get crazy, basically.
Right. And they come back to the bar in the Emerson, and he's saying, the drinks were not that good, let me get you some good stuff. And she looked pretty lit as it was.
Oh, both of them did, as they're laughing and like kind of pouring in there. My thing is there nobody at the front desk to tell these randos who decided to walk in and start some shit, hey, the bar's closed. He works here.
Right. Yeah. Apparently not.
No. Okay, weird, but whatever. So I was, I guess, buying a suite in a hotel, but whatever. So fight ensues, and holy crap. She ends up taking the guys out, but she ended up, I don't know if she killed him.
No, she was about to, and he yelled, don't.
Well, didn't she stab the one, though, with the knife? Because there was blood on her. I mean, not the knife, the bottle.
Bottle, yeah.
I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and so was he.
Well, she goes back up then, because she freaked out, because she's like, well, I totally just reverted back to future survival Hannah.
Yes.
And it turns out she's like, all right, well, I guess I'm opening this envelope now.
Yeah. And
apparently it's a mission for real, and it was to save Cole's mother from being killed. What?
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. Okay.
And again, I'm like, all right, so it's not her, right? I'm still like, that little thing in the back of my mind going, well, she didn't have sex with the bartender.
No.
Well, at least we don't think she did, but.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, so what do you do? She is breathing heavy because she had run off, and we're guessing she's going to go try to save the world.
Right.
But on the other hand, we have Emma, who is standing on a ledge of Titan because she is freaked the hell out with everything that's happened and her mother being crazy, and she'd taken off the necklace.
Yep.
And it's like, I thought she jumped. Like the way they cut it, and then suddenly it comes back and she steps down from the ledge. I'm like, okay. So she didn't do it.
No.
But she decides to escape and go back to the time she was from. And apparently she has a new identity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marion Woods. And you go, oh no.
It's like,
no.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, I was mostly wrong, but I guess not exactly wrong.
Yep.
Well, Hannah ends up at the bar, and all she sees is a really vague description, like blonde wig, blah, blah.
A black skirt.
Yeah. So somehow she ends up finding her in this crowded bar. I love it because she just walks up to her and says, what was it? The snake always traveled forward, never back.
Right, yeah.
And then suddenly, like, Emma starts fighting with her. It's like, what are you doing? If you're, you could have just looked at her and been like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, yeah. And played it completely off as, like, you're the one that's crazy, not me.
Right. But they decide to fight, and suddenly some random guy who was sent back by Olivia to end her cycle,
right,
decides to start shooting. Dude, do you guys just randomly shoot people? Does nobody know how to be discreet?
Hell no, they're in a nightclub.
You could have, like, walked up behind her. She would have known. But
no.
Anyway.
Yeah, silencers anyone?
Right. So suddenly, they're on the same team then. Let's get the hell out of here. Yeah, I don't think Olivia's getting any flowers anytime soon.
Yeah, no Mother Day card for Olivia, that's for sure.
But Emma's like, oh my God, you've been shot, to Hannah. And she turns out she was shot in the tether.
Right.
So what does this mean? They have to go day by day back where they were? I think that's what it's going to happen.
I think so too.
I don't know. It's so crazy. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute. Didn't that guy from Titan have a tether somewhere?
Yeah. So
took that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What did you guys think? I mean, overall, I really liked this, Steve. I thought it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, this was an awesome episode. They just keep getting better and better.
Yes, I have to agree.
Terry is just killing. I mean, this has been progressing just like Expanse did, where every episode was just better than the last. You don't think that's possible, and he pulls it off.
Yes, yes. Well, why don't you guys tell us what you think too? SyFy Talk, SYFY, at fangirlzone.com. Let us know your thoughts on this whole thing, how you feel. Did you think it was Emma this whole time? I mean, it was crazy. Some of these little things that get just sprinkled in, and then how it's the big picture is all kind of starting to merge. And it's crazy. But
yes.
While you're at it, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you're finding us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends. We do hope you're enjoying the podcast. Don't forget to check out our website, www.fangirlzone.com. We have all sorts of stuff up there. Obviously, the podcast. You'll find our contact page, which tells you our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, emails. It's easier to email us that way if you didn't catch it. And, well, here in the States, we're getting close to the 4th, which you probably heard some of it in the background. And so, happy holiday to you if you're celebrating, and don't blow yourself up.
Yeah, it was just Canada Day the other day, so.
And major cons are coming up. So I know just a couple weeks out from San Diego Comic-Con, I'm hoping we hear other awesome stuff coming out from possibly Terry Metalis.
Yeah.
And we will be talking about that as soon as we hear anything. So for this episode of SyFy Talk, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. You must be pretty desperate because, let's face it, nothing beats the real thing.
And until next time.